You got me today. Joe and Ed Drops are in Colorado. They're at some expos about affordable housing and things like that. So, and this is going to be a condensed version because we have our C credit coming up at 10:30, I believe. So right now we have a packed house. So come on down and do our C credit because nobody's here right now. So anyhow, okay, here we go. So the broker update, check out our new property management site. Our Greater Midwest Property Management team has a great new site. Check it out at greatermidwestmanagement.com. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Jenna's leaving Greater Midwest Realty. Our marketing director is stepping out of her current role to start a new journey at Home Apartments as a marketing coordinator. For assistance with KV Core marketing and other programs, please reach out to us at our main number, 763-767-9200, until we find a replacement. If anybody knows of a good marketing person, just contact Jerry, Jenna, Joe, one of the J's until Thursday. License renewals are coming up on June 30th. Agents that are renewing in 2022, you will need to pay your license renewal processing fee, which will be found on your April bill, and need to make sure that you've completed your full 30 hours in a 2-hour period. A minimum of 15 credits are due each year. Please note we cannot renew your license until all those are taken care of. I've lost my thing here. Anyhow, reminder, double dipping on your course will not satisfy any C requirements. So make sure that your course IDs are different. And if you think Cheryl is bad, you don't want to mess with Kim, is all I'm going to say. So you might want to get this stuff in. So, okay. So then our new GMR merchandise is coming soon. I was going to wear my polo, but I still think it's a little cold out. So Jerry's rocking his today, but so we will be, we're still kind of working on the pricing. So we'll know more in a couple weeks how that goes. Okay. So congratulations, Jim Barry. He was our March 29th sales meeting GMR Bucks winner. So just do a little clap. So, and then our top producer is Kamal Ibrahim. He has 6 transactions, and I would say most of those are new construction. I don't know, like I said before, I think 85% or 90% of our buyers right now are new construction. So Kamal's always up there. So just if you see him, congratulate him. And then our April agent of the month is Patty Jones. Patty previously practiced real estate in South Carolina, and after moving to Minnesota, joined Greater Midwest Realty in April of 2021. Since then, Patty has been a dedicated agent, networking, marketing, and building her skill set to drive leads and deals. All of her hard work has come together as she currently has 3 clients in the works. Patty has become a very special part of the GMR family, and we are so lucky to have her positive spirit in the office with us so often. And I got to say, she's almost like staff. She's so dedicated. She's here like every single day. And I'm not, and I'm not saying, whatever, because I know everybody has, some have full-time jobs and stuff, but it's absolutely crazy. And she's gone like, over a year almost with hardly anything. And then and she just keeps persevering and stuff. So I don't know. Anyhow, congratulations, Patty. So she's not here because she's actually out on business. So now we're going to do our listing update from March 29th to April 12th. What has the music?
There's a lot of them.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, as you see, we're getting quite a few listings now. Yeah, I would say in the last 2 weeks, I've looked at 30 new listings, so that's pretty good. That's kind of how I base it, is like our new listings and our PAs on listings and buyers. I have the three that I look at. And so anyhow, okay, now we're going to do our February skinny.
Hi, welcome to the Twin Cities Skinny, brought to you by the Minneapolis Area Association of Realtors, where we dig into the most recent numbers from our market. The U.S. real estate market remains hot ahead of the spring selling season, with existing home sales up 6.7% as of last measure, according to the National Association of Realtors. Experts attribute the growth in sales to an uptick in mortgage interest rates, as buyers rush to lock down their home purchases before rates move higher. Mortgage rates have increased almost a full percentage point since December, with the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage briefly exceeding 4% in February, the highest level since May 2019. Pending sales decreased 10.5% from February 2021 to 3,809 for the month. Closed sales decreased 15.3% from February 2021 to 2,769 for the month. Sales were down compared to last year, despite increased showings and buyer interest, which may mean that consumers are being more selective amidst rising prices. The number of homes for sale was down compared to this time last year. Inventory levels market-wide decreased 19% to 4,361 units. Inventory was down in year-over-year comparisons, which is nothing new to observant market watchers. Prices were up compared to last year at this time. The median sales price increased 8.3% to $340,000. Year-over-year price increases are common at this juncture of housing market trend analysis, but lower affordability could slow the rise if mortgage rates continue to go up. Month supply of inventory was down 20% to 0.8 months. Supply was down from last year, continuing an ongoing trend both locally and nationally. Percent of original list price received at sale rose to 100.7% since last year. Inventory was at an all-time low of 860,000 as February began, down 17% from a year ago and equivalent to 1.6 months supply. According to Lawrence Yun, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, much of the current housing supply is concentrated at the upper end of the market, where inventory is increasing, while homes priced at the lower end of the market are quickly disappearing, leaving many first-time buyers behind. The shortage of homes is boosting demand even further, and with bidding wars common in many markets, it's no surprise sales prices continue to soar. That's the Twin Cities Skinny for this month. Check back next month for the latest.
Okay, so that kind of leads us into Justus. I mean, the interest rates are definitely more than 4% now. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, those rates look good on that sheet compared to what they are now. So I don't have a whole lot of good news. Rates, if you don't have perfect credit, you're already above 5.5. If you have perfect credit and it's a normal loan, it's probably 5.125, 5.25. If you're in the first time home buyer program, you could be looking at like 5.125 or 5. And then MHFA, that's almost near 6. So if you're borrowing money, it's near 6%. So it's not great. One silver lining, MHFA did up their down payment assistance program to $12,500 for the startup. So that went up about $1,500 from $11,000. And then they increased their, so with MHFA startup, so that's their normal first time home buyer program, you could only have 8 months of principal and interest. So if you take the principal and interest payment, take that times 8 months, that's the max you could have in your overall assets after you closed with them. Meaning kind of like they put a limit on how much you could borrow. They increased that to 12,000 from 8,000 or 8 months PITIA. So that also helps with borrowers borrowing money, but it's really all I have for good stuff at the moment. CPI data came in as expected this morning when it comes to inflation, which was high, but since it came in at expectation, that was a good thing. But otherwise, nothing's looking great right now.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
And Wendy is not, she's upstairs, but she's too busy apparently to come down. So she's got a lot going on. So now we're going to go to Dale's Dirt. See what happens.
All right. So this is kind of neat. Now we have access to the incompletes in the ad edit for your own. So like if you have a listing that you're putting together and you wanted to send a copy of it to your seller to just like maybe preview it before you click activate on it, you can do that. So can we go into MLS at all? We can? Okay, cool. So right on the very middle part of it, there's a box that has my listings, on market, off market, my office, my firm, all this stuff. So if we log in, so I made kind of an incomplete. I just put up my own house on there for $1 million. And just to see if it would pop through. And I mean, that'd be cool. But if you want to scroll down, there's my listings. And Jenna doesn't have any incomplete listings, but if she would, it would be right on the very top there. There'd be a box that says my incomplete listings, and then in brackets, however many of them you had. And then you can click that, and then you get a single line view, and you can either open it up to preview the listing, or you can email it to your client through One Home, or you can do whatever you want with it, just to get an idea of how it's going to look for other agents and for other clients and for your sellers, because your seller for sure is going to, as soon as that goes live, look at it on all the third-party sites. So gives you an idea of how it's going to look, so you can make sure you have all your photos in, they can all be organized, make sure your comments are looking good, make sure you have all your room measurements, all that stuff. But it's kind of neat because then you can go back to that and go, oh yeah, I have 3 different incompletes. I need to work on those. I need to update those. I'm going to add pictures to them today. Or today they all get disclosures, whatever you're working on. And then if you go back to that, I thought there was something really neat. It was off market. It's like my office, no, on market, off market listings. There was one that was like my listings, buyer and seller all. So I was able to see all my transactions that I've had as I've been a realtor. And it was super cool, going all the way back to 2014, seeing all of them in a line. And that could be your mailing address. Like you could do send outs to those people just from those addresses. So I thought it was super cool. But tinker around with this my listings tab. And I think it's worth 5 minutes of your time.
When I have to say, this is kind of I'm going to share you a little secret, but we're not really requiring the MLS input form anymore. But if you send it to your client, your list, because the seller is they're the ones that need to say, yep, this information is correct, blah, blah, blah. and to be honest, if you send that to them, then and they send back saying, yes, everything's okay, then you've kind of got a record of, proof that you've shown it to them and things like that. So that's what the MLS input form was basically, is that you look at you send it to your seller and your seller looks at it and nobody ever does it. And that's why we're like, whatever. And so you don't have to send it in to us. I mean, you can send it in, it's still on the checklist, but technically you don't have to. But I would still send it to your seller and have them okay it, because that's the main reason we were doing it before, is because a while back, apparently, an agent said it had 50 feet of lake shore and it had 150 feet. And, so that caused a legal problem. So this way, if you send it to your seller and they okay it, and then there is something wrong, it's still kind of on them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you said you gave it to them to give it the once over.
Yeah. So, I mean, in my mind, it's kind of cool that you can send it to the seller now, because you're gonna have one more record saying, yep, I've got it, So anyhow. Sorry. Oh, I guess it's called talks. I haven't done this one. The most common MLS violations, we actually used to do this in our new office orientation, which is no longer a thing anymore. So we're going to go through that. We're almost done. But so the biggest one is accurate data. All information must be accurate and complete. Incorrect information may include designating a non-conforming bedroom as a regular bedroom or an incorrect MIS sign. I'm not sure what that is, but or PID number. So again, that also that comes back to kind of what we were talking about. Whereas if you send it to your seller, they're not going to know if you have like a non-conforming bedroom or not. That's kind of on your guys' expertise, but. So there's that one. And then there's promotional information and public remarks, open house remarks, supplements, driving directions, or virtual tours. The biggest thing on that, I think, is putting on like a branded video, and so that's coming back to like to the person that does the video and stuff. They should know that you need an unbranded video, but sometimes that kind of sneaks through, and then Kim gets a MLS notification, and then we have to kind of go through some hoops to get that taken care of. But just kind of, look at that thing, the public remarks and stuff. And there is one, I'm trying to think, we put a listing in and they came back. I think it was like within walking distance to the park. Apparently walking distance is discriminatory, because so you can't say walking distance. You have to put like, I don't even know, within whatever distance, a short distance or something like that. So it's kind of crazy, the things that you have to think about, but just try to be, try to think about that, and then whatever. But uploading a photo within 2 business days. That's another one. But, a property photo must be loaded within 2 business days. The photo has the following requirements: no broker, agent, builder signs or promotional materials allowed. No text, regardless of message, allowed on any photograph. Do not copy photos from the listing of another participant. Use your own photos. The photos may not be digitally altered so that it no longer accurately reflects the property. And that's, the whole, when they go in and they kind of like stage pictures and stuff and couches and stuff, some people get kind of thrown off by that. So I don't know if they fixed that a little bit. I know that was kind of an issue for a while. So a lot of things is within 2 business days. You got to remember that. And I'm pretty sure even coming soon has to have a bit, and I think there's some people that, I don't know if land does. I can't remember if land does, but yeah, I don't think land does, but just, I think it's a benefit for you guys to have the photo on there. And then moving a listing to temporarily not available to show. Even if it's not gonna be unavailable for more 24 hours or longer, you need to send it in the form to myself. Dale can do it. But that's one thing that, you know, we can do TNAS and we have to do cancel. Everything else you as the agent can do, but just remember TNAS and canceled, somebody at Greater Midwest Realty has to do it, so. And then if you do get a notice from, well, you'll get a notice and Kim gets a notice and Kimberly will send it out saying you need to make this correction. You have to do it within 48 hours or you will get a fine. So most times, a lot of, yeah, like they said, you can come in, like you call them and explain, you know, you can kind of plead ignorance, I guess, but like they said that 93% of their fines get waived. So they just want you to basically do stuff right. And if you do it wrong, you know, call and confess what you did wrong and then you'll get that fee waived, usually. So, let's see here. Okay, entering a listing in the MLS only when you have a signed listing contract, which that's kind of, you should know that, but whatever line 9 says on the listing contract or the facilitator agreement, that's what you have to go by. Coming soon, withheld. You could have it, you could have the listing contract dated April 12th. And line 9 could say April 21st. That's when you have to do coming soon, you know, within 2 business days, coming soon, withheld, all that, you know, active. So when I get things in that says coming soon and it's coming soon on the 17th instead of like, you know, line 9 is the date that it starts. It doesn't matter when you know, you actually sign the contract. You could sign the contract 30 days before that, but line 9 is when you have to do what you know, active everything. So, okay. Okay, unauthorized use of MLS data. This doesn't happen very often. Basically, it's if you send your login credentials to your buyer, that's a big no-no. So that's probably one that you won't get the fine waived. So CMAs, you know, don't, yeah, basically just don't give your information away because that's not what it's meant to do. So let's see here. Other rules to be aware of. Let's see. Access a property only with proper authorization. Yep. So basically don't walk into a house. Don't have the inspector come in and, you know, unless the seller has agreed to it is what it comes down to. Yeah. Enter a listing only once. No 2 active listings should have the same parcel ID. That's kind of all that standard stuff. So I think we're coming to the end. You guys here. Nobody else is, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but so yeah.
Say if you're online and you're within 10 minutes.
Yeah, basically we have a free CE and free bagels. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
I have a question for that follow up on the last thing you said about not inviting an inspector or letting the seller know. And we're starting to do these walk and talk things for the buyers. Is that is the agent's responsibility to set that all up and let the seller know that we're actually coming through and we're not doing an inspection, but we're walking around and kind of looking, you know, we don't use tools or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a new thing now.
Yeah, it's,
so yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's more, I mean, it's definitely the listing agent's responsibility to let them know. I'm not sure if you're doing a showing, if a seller's doing, I'm sorry, if a listing agent, if you're showing a buyer a house and you as an inspector are coming along, I'm not sure if you have to tell that to the seller.
Yeah,
So
leave that up to the.
Yeah, that's kind of I think that's relatively new, and so it's kind of a gray area, and
I agree.
I'm not exactly sure.
It's a gray area for inspectors too, because a lot of them, some of my inspectors are willing to do that. And some of them feel that it doesn't meet the standards of practice that they adhere to. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've shown a buyer's houses with their brother's an inspector, and you're not gonna like say, oh, the brother's an inspector. You know, I'm not sure what the sellers will be able to do.
Yeah, I don't know
You
if it's
know,
any different than having your uncle there, or, I mean,
Right.
we're not producing a report or anything in writing, it's, you know, just kind of, hey, look at that, you know. so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think we're done until next week for 2 weeks or so.